Hey guys, Forest Bear Studios here, and today we're opening a box of Battle for Zendikar.
It's a battle.
So we got our Ruinous Path, which is our buy a box promo, and we have Mr. Boopster for luck. He's gonna do a luck dance.
Yeah, there's a lot of expeditions in this box.
Yeah, there's like three and a half.
So actually, the first box that this is Chubby off screen, by the way. The first box that I ever actually bought was a original Zendikar box, and I think I opened like 6 fetch lands or so. So I know, let's just do that same thing. I know there's not really technically fetch lands in the set, but 6 expeditions. That's not too much to ask
that's
for.
not too much to ask for. No.
Or let's get like the box that they screwed up, and there's actually one in every pack instead of a basic land.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. Also, a lot of money is also what that would be. So we're gonna do this the same format that we've done this in the past. We're gonna have a value count.
Yeah.
And then so Ek is gonna open half, then I'm gonna open half, and then we'll compare and contrast.
I took half, the top half, and now it's 3 Kioras. That's the top of yours.
Oh, that's odd.
It should be right. 3, 3, 3. Yeah, there we go.
All right. So let's start things off with a Scalding Tarn.
Okay. It's not asking for too much.
No. He's going to judge you.
Judge.
The Boopster judgment.
Judge. Whoop. Commons.
Yeah, no need to go through the commons.
Grove Rumbler for our first uncommon. Coomstone Walker. Halimar Tide Caller. And Hero of Gomafata.
I don't know what that is.
He has Rally, gives Indestructible. Pretty powerful, really. Free attacks.
Forest. And Eldrazi Spawn. Or
Scion.
Scion. All right. Well, starting off strong with not a Scalding Tarn, but, you know, number 2, that's fine too.
Number 2,
It's fine if it's in the second pack as well.
Number 2, it's got to be pooped out.
They seek to break us. Let us show them our strength.
Angel of Renewal. Cryptic Cruiser. Sylvan Scrying.
That's a good one.
And Smothering Abomination. This one seems decent if there was a Scion deck.
Scion.
Scion.
It's a silent sea.
There was a Scion deck. Draw a card whenever you sack a creature. Pretty powerful. Forest.
And Forest. Is it the same
and
Forest?
Scion.
Wow. What are the odds of that? Probably pretty good.
Is it the same?
No, it's not the same.
No,
Forest.
it's not quite. I forget there.
Yeah. Actually, that's
similar, but they're...
Other than expeditions, like that's almost what I'm most excited about from this set.
Yeah, definitely.
Is the full art lands coming back. So didn't you say at some point to me that they changed the amount of tokens you get?
Yeah, apparently with this set they changed how often the
tip card versus token.
Yeah, the tip card appears versus token, so there's less of them and more tokens.
Yeah,
even though still with a token, the other side's still an ad.
It's still a tip card.
So it's really better. I always thought it was better for them because it's a token and it also has an ad on the back, so it's more likely to be in someone's box.
Yeah.
Draina's Emissary, Chasm Guide. If there was goblins at a chasm, it'd be much more playable. Circling Fisher. Ruinous Path.
Hey, we got one of those. Now we got 2 of those.
It kind of looks like it's the same image and it's just been like turned.
Yeah.
Like he's facing this direction and then this direction you're looking straight at
They just went into Photoshop and went like flip horizontal. It's good. Ship it.
Island.
Ooh, that's the best one.
Yeah, it's not Scalding Tarn, but you know.
It's the best of the basics.
Yes.
Actually, it's probably not the best art of the basics, but you know, it's Island.
It's an island.
You can't go wrong with Island. You watch, there's probably like a common that's worth like $5 and we're just skipping.
Expedition Envoy, Void Attendant, Ruination Guide, Sunken Hollow.
Yeah!
It's the blue-black one.
Well, it's blue-black at least.
That is true. Mountain.
And some other stuff.
And
so what do you think of these new lands?
I like them.
Yeah? I think I'm bored by them. I think they're not nearly as powerful as
the only issue
some of the other
I have,
options. But
Oh, you're talking about those.
Oh, no, not the full. The full art lands are fine. I'm talking about the new ones.
They fit 2-color decks that have a lot of basics, and that's what they wanted, so I guess it works. Now, the one thing I've noticed with these is that you kind of see the bend here of the frame.
You hold it up closer. Soon.
So you kind of see the bend here as it would follow along the frame, and then there's a sharp block.
Oh, why'd you do that? Now that's all I'm going to notice.
It bothers me. Like, why didn't they just... Whoop.
Yeah.
Slight curve.
Oh, man.
So annoying.
They need to improve their Illustrator skills.
Yeah, like, see, it works here because there's a text box.
Yeah.
But there's not a text box there. So
why
it
would
just
you
looks
do that?
dumb.
Why would you do that to me?
Sorry. Had to do it. Had to be said. Void Attendant. Herald Kozilek. Cryptic Cruiser. And Gruesome Slaughter.
What does that do?
Until end of turn, colorless creatures you control gain tap. This creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature. Huh. So it's a one-sided fight.
Yeah. It's not a very fair fight.
It's a slaughter.
It's a kick 'em in the balls sort of fight.
And mountain.
Aw.
Mountain.
That's not even an island. Who cares about it? Although, to be fair, that's a very nice mountain art.
Well, I mean, islands are probably played a lot, but mountains are probably played in a higher volume. It's mono red.
Sure. That's true. Yeah, like the new dual lands. What do you think of them?
They might be fine as one or two ofs in 2-color decks.
Yeah. But
I mean, really. I could be wrong about their playability, but it seems rather low.
I mean, it's in standard.
I don't know Mr. Boopster thinks.
It's probably great in standard because it's fetch lands, but...
Blood Bond Vampire.
We don't
horribly awry.
It's gone horribly awry.
How do you say it? Like, you can't say, like, I cancel that. I horribly awry
it? No, you just got, like, someone's like, I'll cast this, and be like, it's gone horribly awry.
That actually works, yeah.
Yeah.
Ally Encampment.
Hey, if there's an ally deck, that'll be good.
Hinges completely on that, though.
Yeah.
Mountain.
That's a big if.
The old mountain.
Mm-hmm. I wish that they wouldn't have reprinted some of these full art land arts. I don't mind it. I don't mind it, but how often are they going to do full art lands? It'd be nice to have 4 new ones.
Isn't there still 4 new ones and just a 5th added in?
Okay, let me rephrase that. It'd be nicer to have a pool of all new ones.
I guess, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But
I guess for people that didn't have original Zendikar, why not?
Rising Miasma. Seems kind of weaker because, it's the same casting cost as Languish. Dampening Pulse.
It can turn into a dude, though.
It can, but it has half the effect.
Sure.
Headrun Archive. And Ulamog.
Hey! Woo! It's worse than the last Ulamog, but it's sweet.
Yeah. It looks CG to me. That's the one thing I don't... I kind of get the idea in that, the Eldrazi are weird out of world beings, but it still looks weird.
It looks like a video game character from the 90s.
Mountain. And Dragon.
Yeah, but Ulamog, that's sweet.
Ulamog.
That's probably worth some monies. Like 2 monies.
Yeah.
Ulamog, the ceaseless hunger.
He kills twice as many things and he doesn't have the weird shuffle effect.
Yeah, he can be reanimated a lot easier. Which is cool.
Forerunner of Slaughter.
We have some of those already. From the Zendikar,
Eldrazi. Spawning Bed. A Breaker of Armies. And Prairie Stream. I really like the art. It's kind of cool.
It does have nice art.
And Plains.
Does does expeditions take the basic land slot, or how does that work?
They take the foil slot, so they'd replace a common.
Oh, okay. I see how it is.
Blister Pod. Everyone likes Blister Pod.
Pop. This is pretty sweet. It belongs in that Abzan.
Yeah, next level Abzan. Yeah. It's a little better because, it has a bit more utility and it's still a 1/1.
Can make mana.
Skitter Skin.
Company.
Stasis Snare. Retreat to Coral Helm. This may be a modern deck. So
it could be. Yeah.
And Guardian of Tazim.
Oh. Is that the blue starter?
It
card?
Should be, but
it looks like it.
It looks like it, but it's not.
Yeah.
Tide Drifter.
Oh, I got so excited. I saw some foliage, and I didn't notice
the weird frame.
Cost. Yeah. But,
Tide Drifter. He's drifting. See, there's a...
Oh, that sucks. So I wonder, are those going to all of a sudden become more rare? Because they're like not in print, like worth as much as a token. Like, oh, I got a Return to Zendikar or Battle for Zendikar tip card. Wow.
Isn't it just ads though? It's not even like tips anymore.
Yeah, whatever.
They're like, hey, buy these products. Royal Retribution, Blighted Cataract, Ulamog's Despoiler.
You got an Ulamog, so it matches.
Blood Butcher.
Blood Butcher.
Seems rather decent.
Yeah.
And Island. Womp.
Womp. So, like, my impression of this set is that there's not a ton of value in it, but if you get an expedition, you, like, double your money. So it's like the lottery.
They're like, oh, no one's ever going to want to buy these products. Let's put expeditions in.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, it seems like they're watering it down a little bit.
Well, I mean, eventually that has to happen.
Sure.
Tunneling Geopede, Vampiric Rites, Treat the Valakut, Brutal Expulsion.
Ooh. That sounds like Chubby after some beans. There's a Brutal Expulsion. Oh, God! That sort of thing.
And it's got the Venser ability. That's why.
Yeah.
So it's like they're going to cast a spell, and then you brutally have a Brutal Expulsion. They're like, no, God. I changed my mind. I'm leaving.
I'm going back home. That's disgusting.
Swamp. The Dry Sky.
Oh, yeah, that's going in the cube just for that. I don't even know if it's any good.
It's pretty decent. Deals 2 damage.
Yeah.
Exile's the thing.
If you can't tell, I haven't really like studied the spoiler that much. So this is gonna be a fun new experience for me. So far we're at 1 mythic rare.
Yes. Scythe Leopard. Much better than Scythe Tiger. Blighted Woodland. Probably the most playable of these blighted lands.
Yeah.
Titan's Presence. And Aligned Hedron Network.
Is that a good thing?
It's a 4-color list, and when it enters the battlefield, exile all creatures with power 5 or greater until it leaves the battlefield.
That seems okay.
Yeah.
It's colorless. It's pretty nice.
Forest.
Oh.
Elemental.
Oh. Actually, what makes the 3/1 elemental in this set? I'm not sure.
Actually, I don't know either.
Tell us in the comments, because I don't want to look it up on Gatherer, or maybe we'll find it.
It's probably a common.
Whatever.
Soulport Cutthroat. Blood Artist 0.8.
0.8?
It's slightly worse, but it's still playable in the decks that generally run the Blood Artist. So having 5,
and
copies 5 to 8 is excellent.
Isn't there like an ally that does a similar thing with allies in the set as well?
I think it's when an ally enters, it drains 1. This is when a creature dies.
Yeah.
Royal Spoke. Retreat to Hagra. I assume that's how you pronounce it.
Sure, I don't know.
And
it's a made-up word. Who cares?
March from the Tomb. 5 mana sorcery. Return any number of target ally creature cards with total converted mana cost 8 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. If there's an ally deck, this is probably it.
Yeah.
Brood Hunter Worm.
Whop.
Womp. Island.
Oh, well, Silver Lining.
Yeah.
Silver Lining. Or in this case, Aquamarine Lining.
Blue Lining. Anticipate.
Did you anticipate that you were going to open that?
Yes.
You didn't sound too sure yourself.
Processor Assault. Breaker of Armies.
I'm anticipating a Polluted Delta myself.
Molten Nursery. And Wasteland Strangler.
But more importantly, and
Plains.
Oh.
Wasteland Strangler. This is the one that if you can put a card from your opponent's exile into that graveyard, if you do, target creature gets -3/-3.
Huh.
So it's a skin... Wow, I forgot his...
Skin Shifter? No, Skin Shifter turns into a Rhinoceros. Skin Render.
Skin Render. Yeah. There you go. It's a 1 cheaper Skin Renderer as long as you have, cards in... They have cards in exile.
Yeah. So if they have a Mist Hologriffin, you're looking great. Playing against some food chain.
Yeah.
It's nothing better than a -3/-3 effect.
Sledge Crawler. Boring.
I've actually heard people saying that deck would get worse because of all the remove from exile effects. They're not playable. None of them are playable.
No, not really.
And Legacy? Are you kidding me?
Scythe Leopard, Carrier Thrall, Wind Rider Patrol, Woodland Wanderer.
What's that one do?
He's got Vigilance and Trample and Converge, so he gets a 1/1 counter for each color mana spent. It's going to be a 4-mana 3/3 if you're solid green, but he could potentially be a 4-mana 6/6 with Vigilance and Trample. Still a lot of work.
Seems decent.
Seek the Wild.
Boo! Boo! I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no polluted Delta.
It's not Swamp either.
It's true. It's no swamp. It's no full
I forgot
swamp.
about the 10/10 Eldrazi token. It's half the side of Merit Lage.
Yeah. Well, without the flying and indestructibility, of course. It's like the flying half is still up there. Yeah. It's like a 10/10 with flying and indestructible, and this is just like I need to lose some weight quickly. Just poop out of an Eldrazi.
Big poop. Coom Stonewaker. This is the guy who makes the elementals.
Oh, hey!
Landfall, and you have to pay 3 for the elemental.
Oh.
And it gets exiled at the beginning of the next end step.
Well, that's pretty straightforward with the 3/1s with Trample Haste.
Yeah, but you're paying mana and a landfall. That seems a little...
I mean, it's a bad card. It may be
fine and limited, but... Hagar, Sharpshooter, infused with the elements. And... Ugin's Insight. Scry X, where X is the highest converted mana cost among permanents you control, then draw 3 cards.
I really like the art on this card.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
You speak to me of the threat of Ulamog, but do not forget they came as 3.
Ooh. Foreshadowing or something.
Yeah. It's doing
Past
something.
shadowing. Future shadowing.
Well, I mean,
maybe they're
going to come back in the next set. We don't know.
Maybe. I hope so. The world needs another Emrakul.
Yeah.
It really does.
Probably just exiles like the whole library.
Yeah. When Emrakul enters the battlefield...
When you cast Emrakul, Jace ultimates them.
Yeah. Search your library for Jace the Mind Sculptor and use its ultimate ability.
Tajir, Warcaller, Herald the Kozilek, Ulamog's Nullifier. If one of these was going to be possible to play, it's probably this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
A Flying Mystic Snake is pretty decent.
Yeah. And in better colors. Woo! 2 mythics!
Planeswalker!
That's a sweet one. So what does it do?
5 mana. He starts at 5 loyalty. +1, draw a card and lose a life. -3, destroy target creature. -8, target opponent gets an emblem with whenever a player draws a card, you lose 2 life.
Let's see if, like in Origins, we get the emblem with this.
Island. I'll draw a sky. No, we didn't get the emblem. We got the card.
Got the tip card, but I was thinking maybe they would do a similar thing. Guess not.
No, they gotta make it you have to open a bunch of packs after you get your lucky Planeswalker.
Yeah.
To get the emblem for it.
I'm not sure how much Obby is worth compared to like Gideon. I'm sure Gideon's better. Probably. Because it's 4 mana. But
Grove Tender Druids. File Aggregate. Bladed Fen. Sanctum of Ugin.
Hey, I don't know what that card is even.
Taps for colorless, but whenever you cast a colorless spell with converted mana cost 7 or greater, you can sacrifice it, and if you do, search your library for a colorless creature card, reveal it, and put it in your hand.
Well, that's not bad.
No, it's pretty decent.
That seems pretty good.
Cast an Eldrazi, find a second Eldrazi.
Yeah.
And Forest.
Very niche, but, you know. Pretty sweet.
It might exist in a deck like Tron.
Yeah. Now, if only you didn't sacrifice it.
Yeah. Because it's just a colorless spell, right?
Yeah.
The first one? And it has to find a colorless creature. So if you cast a Planeswalker, then you can find a Wormcoil engine.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like it might be fine in Tron. Mm-hmm. Ondu Rising. Tide Drifter. Treat the Hagra. Aligned Hedron Network.
Yeah, know what that does.
And...
Oh! Whoa! Which one is this?
Hallowed Fountain.
Whoa! Well, you beat me, I think, in the value count.
This was my favorite art.
It is the coolest.
It's so cool.
Show it up nice and up close. It's pretty sweet. Ooh. Oh man. Well, now I'm excited for life. I mean, I'm gonna lose the value count, but who cares? That's awesome.
We didn't have sleeves prepared.
Well, we have that one sleeve. I don't think Ruinous Path needs to be in there.
Bye Ruinous Path.
Yeah, that was a good pull. That was a good pull.
Put that there.
To be fair, though, I did ask for a Scalding Tarn, and you haven't delivered yet.
Hush. It's in this last one here.
Deal. Yeah, let's just leave that there. It's awesome.
Yeah, that doesn't get put away. No.
God, no. Weird thing with these is that they're not legal in standard, but they're legal in limited.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's such a weird thing.
You'd think that, I don't know, because like after that whole Tarmogoyf fiasco where he took a foil Tarmogoyf instead of like a card that was perfect for his deck, you'd just have them set it aside.
Yeah.
But I guess it is mana fixing, but I don't know. Depends.
It's just a weird thing.
Yeah, that you have to waste a spot.
It would be funny. It would be funny if you like in like draft or something took a bunch of the new dual lands and opened a fetch land, so you like actually fetch for a dual land. Like, really?
Last card.
It's
Noyan Dar Royal Shaper. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may put up to 3, or no, sorry, not up to. You may put 3 +1/+1 counters on target land you control. If you do, that land becomes a 0/0 elemental creature with haste that's still a land.
That's
pretty decent.
That's pretty decent. Yeah, that's a thing. And Scalding Tarn. No, Forest. Oh, tip card. The worst. You suck. Anyway, so that was a great first half of the box.
Boopster.
Yeah. It was because of Mr. Boop. Is he going to make out with the hell of him?
he's looking at his prize.
Sure.
So you got to have him do the dance.
That's
and then
true.
You can open one of your own.
Exactly. That's what I'm going to do. So we'll see you back there. All right, guys. It's Chubby's half of the box time. I have to. This is what I have to beat. Is a
none of the other cards.
So
you just have to beat a Hallowed Fountain.
I mean, I guess I could open like a string of Gideons. That might do it value-wise, but I don't think it's going to happen. So, Mr. Boopster, give me some Boopster luck by doing your little Boopster dance. And I think we're going to start with this Kiora. Okay. Wow, these packs are like cheese. It's just, they're
some of them were hard to open, and some of them just like peeled apart.
It's kind of weird. So yeah, Common's not going to go through those. We have a Rising Miasma, Serene Steward, Hedron Archive, and Lantern Scout. A 3-mana 3/2 with Rally. Whenever it or another ally enters the battlefield under your control, creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn. Again, like
a big middle finger to mono red.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, if there's an ally deck, probably be in it. And we got Plains.
Not just the potential of dropping him and then a swinging for like 6 lifelink. It's rather powerful in a lot of aggro races. That it may be fine to just not play him without allies. Though, considering they printed that ally Savannah Lions.
Yeah, that's a sweet one.
You may be able to just build a white weenie deck with that.
It's a lot better than the Stonework Puma. Puma! It was like the previous allied cat. So we got a Grove Rumbler, Slab Hammer. That's a sweet name. I don't know why. Blighted Cataract and Defiant Bloodlord. I'm gonna guess this is probably the black starter.
I think so. Yes.
You can tell by the art and the mana cost. Yeah. So it's 6 mana. Sorry, 7 mana, 4/5 flyer. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. And we've got a foil swamp. It's no foil Hallowed Fountain, but it's a foil floor land, which is pretty sweet. And we got an octopus. That's the best thing ever.
Octopus, yeah.
Oh, man. That's delicious.
So now we have a full art foil plains, and a full art foil island, and a full art foil swamp, and a full art foil mountain that's an unhinged.
Yeah.
But we don't have a forest yet.
We need a forest, so that's in this pack. Go through all this poop. I mean, it's probably not poop. It's probably great. Grip of Desolation. Sweet name, overpriced card.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets a creature and a land, and it's instant, but 6 mana, come on. Draft, sealed, perfectly fine. Outside, nah. Core Entanglers. Ulamog's Reclaimer. Anamunda, Ambush Leader. I think do we get this before?
No.
Is this the, oh, it totally is. This is the allied Goblin Ringleader.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a 3/4 with haste, and it has Rally, which you should know what Rally does at this point. And its rally is you may look at the top 4 cards of your library. If you do, reveal any number of allies from among them and put those cards on top. Never mind, it's not. On top of your library in any order and the rest on the bottom.
If it wasn't a rally trigger, it'd probably go to your hand.
Sure.
But...
And a foil Blighted Gorge. Ooh. It's pretty gorgeous. It's pretty gorgeous. 5 mana, shock something.
It's probably not playable.
No. Certainly not.
I think that old Threshold land that has that ability is probably better.
Probably a little bit. I don't know. I mean, that requires cards in the graveyard in a red deck.
Yeah, that's pretty
difficult to do something that will never happen. Expedition Envoy.
See, that's the one I was talking about.
Sure. Brood Monitor. Blighted Step. And Planar Outburst. 5 mana. Destroy all non-land creatures. And it has Awaken 4 for 8 mana, which is a lot of mana, but sweet.
But it's a 4/4 that rats the board, so...
Yeah.
For 8 mana, that's pretty decent.
Yeah. And Plains. Okay. Let's take one from this pile. So, we've got ourselves Grove Tender Druids, Vile Aggregate, Core Blade Whirl, and Amiria Shepherd. A 7. Is this the white starter?
I'm not sure, actually.
Well, it's 7 mana, so...
If you have that, and you have Sakura Tribe Builder, you can fetch every Plains in your deck.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
There may be potential abuse for them, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That's the one that most people have been pointing out online.
Anyway, so it's a 7 mana 4/4 flying with landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under control, you can return a non-land permanent from your graveyard to your hand, and if that land is a Plains, you may return that non-land permanent to the battlefield instead. So, like you were saying, you sacrifice the Tribe Elder
to find a Plains.
Find a Plains, get back the Tribe Elder, rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
And there's not.
Until you run out of Plains. And then you go get, your last other basic land.
Sure,
I guess.
Yeah, it's cool. I never really thought of that. I like this Dispel art. This is some sweet new Dispel art.
It is.
Okay, so we got all our poops. And then we got Stasis Snare. Rot Shambler.
I don't know if an instant speed Journey to Nowhere was worth an additional white.
No. Tide Drifter and a Coom Firebird. It's a mythic, at least.
It's a mythic.
It's not great, but 4 mana, 3/3, Flying Haste, attacks each turn if able. Landfall, whenever land enters the battlefield, you may pay 6, 4 and 2 red. If you do, you return it from the graveyard to the battlefield. Me. And a foil rare. That's something. Angelic Captain, 5 mana, 4/3. When it attacks, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn for each other attacking ally and has flying.
Potential, maybe.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was a sweet pack, but...
Thing with the allies is that either the deck exists or it doesn't.
Sure, yeah. And if it doesn't...
And I don't think a 5-drop that doesn't attack the turn it comes into play is probably modern playable.
No.
Which is the majority of our stuff.
Do you think there's enough allies now to make a commander deck based around allies?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah. Plated Crusher, Blighted Step, Deathless Behemoth, Nissa's Renewal, 6 mana. Search your library for up to 3 basic lands, put them onto the battlefield, tap, shuffle your library, and you gain 7 life. What? Why?
I remember when this was spoiled and we couldn't even... I was trying to tell you about it and I forgot what the rider was because it was worthless, like 7 life.
Yeah. And it's 6 mana! Jeez! This is almost as bad as that one mythic. Remember that like white mythic that just gained you a bunch of life?
Oh, yeah.
That's all it did?
Archangel's Light. It was excellent and limited, but they really didn't want another Jace the Mind Sculptor, so they're just like, we have to make this horrible.
We have to make the poopiest mythics we could possibly make. Oh, man. So there's a swamp and there's a token. So I'm not looking too hot for the Scalding Tarn.
I mean, this is a format where you want to get to a lot of mana, so there is a potential, and gaining 7 life helps you stay alive longer to cast your Eldrazi, but...
You're reaching. You are reaching.
In limited, it is good. As long as you know...
Is it good, or is it...
As long as you open an Ulamog, then it's probably good. Because it gets you from 6 to 9, and hopefully a land drop next turn Ulamog.
Fair.
If you don't have an Ulamog, it's probably not very good.
Tajuru Warcaller, Catacombs Sifter, Blighted Gorge, non-foil version. And we got a Felidar Sovereign. I remember when this used to be mythic.
Yeah. No, it's not.
No, it's not. 6 mana, 4/6. Vigilance, lifelink. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 40 or more life, you win the game. Yeah.
It doesn't happen that often.
No.
A little easier to do in Commander because, you know, you start at a higher life total.
Sure.
Still not the most useful. That is an awesome mount.
It really is.
I love that mountain.
I want a foil version of that mountain. Which will, of course, be in this pack right here that I'm holding in my hands. So, we've got ourselves...
Isn't Scalding Tarn supposed to be in that one?
No, it's in the next one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Maybe they're both in this. It's an error pack. Tunneling Geopede. It's no plated Geopede.
No, it's definitely not.
Sylvan Scrying. Sweet card. Malakir Familiar. I'm not familiar with this card. Shrine of the Forsaken Gods. So it's... I don't know this either. It's a land, taps for 1 colorless, or you can tap for 2 colorless and spend it only to cast colorless spells, and you can only activate that if you control 7 or more lands. Wow, that doesn't seem good at all.
Temple of the False Gods made worse. At least I guess it does tap for mana before the threshold.
I guess, but jeez.
And then even its threshold after that limits you to being colorless spells.
Yeah, that's not very good. That's not a very good card. I liked what I was reading until I got to the last bit.
Yeah.
Where it was like, but the reminder text was, this card is not playable. Don't play it in your decks. All right, we got a Rolling Thunder. Sweet card.
Excellent limited card.
Hagra Sharpshooter. Ulamog's Despoiler. Anazada. Hedron Grinder.
I love this guy.
Okay, I don't know what he does, so let's find out. He's a 4 mana 3/3. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery that targets only him. Oh, I do know what this is. It's,
I love that idea.
Yeah, it's a Precursor Goblin.
Yeah, Precursor Goblin.
So when you cast an instant or sorcery that targets only him, copy that spell for each other creature you control that the spell could target. And each copy targets a different one of those creatures.
I mean, there's like all kinds of different decks you could make with them.
Sure.
You can make like a Goblin token deck that splashes white, and then you path him, which then pass all the Goblin tokens. And then the next turn you just cast Emrakul.
Ooh, I like where this is heading. Here's what I'm wondering. Do you think this was originally said all other allies? Because this is an ally.
Yeah, well, they changed they made Rally because they didn't want allies to be parasitic and only work for each other. So. Sure.
Okay. That makes sense.
That's why the change is always all your creatures.
Yeah. Huh. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing if we can brew up some fun with that card, because it's pretty sweet.
Anything that says draw card and targets a creature, excellent.
Yeah, definitely. Twisted Image is very good with that. Okay, Transgress the Mind. Sweet art. Stasis Snare. Jaddy Offshoot. Is that just a piece of a tree? Is that the whole thing with this? Whatever.
Yes.
Smoldering Marsh. We almost have a set of these.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Or fortunately, however you want to look at it. And planes.
I don't think they're going in the cube.
No.
They may be fine in the cube because you sometimes end up playing a lot of basic lands.
Yeah.
That depends whether Frosty feels like drafting all the lands in every pack, and then deciding whether he wants to draft actual Magic cards.
Yeah,
or not.
He totally does that. It's really annoying.
Like it's like, oh yeah, I have perfect mana fixing, but I'm mono blue.
Yeah, I don't have any spells. Murasa Ranger, Pilgrim's Eye. This has better art than the last version. Royal Spout. Sweet. Dust Stalker. 5. Okay. So it's a black, a red, and 2 colorless. It's a 5/3 with Devoid. It has haste. At the beginning of each end step, if you control no other colorless creatures, you can return it to its owner's hand.
You can? Or it just gets returned?
Oh, never mind. It does. Yeah, it just gets returned. I don't know why I said can. I was thinking about that, and I'm like, why would you ever...
Yeah, why would you want to?
It's
not like he makes a colorless creature.
That's a stupid thing. And we got Forest. And a core ally.
Core allies. Shuffling around.
Yeah. What makes core allies?
I think it's an uncommon.
Sweet new
Converge. There's probably more, but
yeah. So we have a Resolute Blade Master, Retreat to Emeria, Halimar Tidecaller, and Scatter to the Winds. Whomp! It's a 3 mana counter target spell.
With an upside.
Yeah, but they all have upsides now, and this one's not that great, I don't think. 6 mana for a 3/3.
It depends, because there is that one card that can return a card with Awaken from your graveyard to your hand. So, at least in Standard, that's powerful.
I don't care about that, though. Sweet art, though. Awesome art.
It might be cube-worthy, just because,
There's a swamp and a plant.
Sometimes you want to counter a spell at 6 mana and make a 3/3 after that.
I don't know. I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical. So we have 3 left, Mr. Boopster. I'm gonna need some special Boopster luck. Boop. He gave it the boop of hope.
Yeah.
We have a Royal's Retribution, Coastal Discovery. You know what I hope to discover on this coast? Scalding Tarn.
Scalding Tarn? Is that a coast, though?
Path? No.
This is when you reveal a sea chrome coast.
Pathway Arrows. I hope these arrows point in the direction of a Scalding Tarn. Fathom Feeder.
He's feeding at the bottom of a Scalding Tarn.
and I could fathom opening a Scalding Tarn. We have a foil. That was the rare. Fathom Feeder, 2 mana, blue and a black. It's a 1/1 with the Void and Death Touch and Ingest. And you can pay 3 and a blue and a black to draw a card. Each opponent exiles the top card of his or her library.
It does work. If the Ingest deck exists, it's probably good. But
And a foil Myers Malice. Boo!
Was Myers Malice?
Boo! Doesn't matter. It's a common. It's a 4 mana. Target opponent discards 2 cards, and you can awaken it for awaken 3 for 6 mana.
And Mind Rot's not very good.
No.
That's an additional mana.
No. It's Blightning that is not. All right, Mr. Boopster. Give it the boop of luck.
Opening 2 expeditions in a box would be insane.
Yeah, it would. So let's do it. Got a bunch of poops. All right, we have a Fire Mantle Mage, Zulaport Cutthroat, Slaphammer. I just love this so much. Slaphammer. I don't know what it does even, and I don't really care, but Slaphammer! And an Oblivion Sower. It's a mythic. Ooh. We have it already.
We have it. We have a foil.
We have a foil
art, but you know.
Yeah. So 6 mana, 5/8. When you cast it, target opponent exiles the top 4 cards of his or her library, and you may put any number of lands that player owns from exile onto the battlefield under your control. Not just the ones that he exiles, which is kind of interesting.
So if they delved a dig through time, you got some value.
You did.
As long as they had fetch lands.
That's not a Scalding Tarn. There's a Gideon emblem now. So you know what that means.
Gideon?
Gideon in this pack.
With a Scalding Tarn?
With a Scalding Tarn. 2 Scalding Tarns. Isn't that right, Mr. Boopster? That's him agreeing. That's actually me moving his head.
He's probably not agreeing.
Okay. So let's
probably just going to tell you the odds.
Let's go ahead and open this very slowly.
Because the expeditions are like 2 per case on average, I think.
Yeah, and both of them were in this box. Is it 2 per case? I thought it was 1 per case.
Yeah, it seems to be 2 per case, so it's a little more common than...
Man, these packs are malleable.
Yeah.
Am I just... It's so malleable. Blip, blip, I see a salvage drone. Okay, that's probably enough of that. Okay, so... The last pack... Salvage drone. I don't know why I'm going through the commons. I'm not going to do that.
There's a blister pod.
Yay, blister pod. Skitterskin. Skitterskin. That's fun to say. Bane of Balagad. Crumble to dust.
Have all your hopes and dreams crumbled to dust?
Well, I don't know. Well, it's going to depend on this. I'm not going to look. You can tell me what it is.
It's a mythic.
Oh, it is too. Drana, Liberator of Malakir. It's no Gideon, but it's sweet. It's a 3 mana.
It plays very well with the Hanger Backwalker.
I suppose it would. Yeah. Also, it's an ally. Was Drana an ally?
Yeah.
Before?
Oh, like the first one?
Yeah.
No. But then the vampires, kind of got
turned
half of them like pledged allegiance to the...
They turned into these, basically.
And the other half ran away.
Yeah.
She's the leader of the ones that are fighting the Eldrazi.
Well, let's find out what makes her the leader. 3 mana, 2/3, flying first strike. Obviously, it's legendary. Whenever Drana, Liberator, Malakir deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on each attacking creature you control.
First strike in that means, you have to remember that they all get +1/+1 counters before they deal combat damage.
Sure. That's pretty sweet.
So before your Hanger back walker, it's trades for whatever.
Yeah.
He gets a 1/1 counter, and then he gets an extra Thopter.
Sweet. And our Scalding Tarn is an island. It fetches an island.
It's half.
It does fetch an island.
You just needed to find a mountain, merge them together.
Sure.
And then somehow converted. I don't know how fetch lines are made. You'll need to. You need a terramorphic expanse, an island and a mountain. And you have to tape them all together. That's how you get
And then you crack it to get the pieces back. Yeah. Huh. Okay. So, Mr. Boopster did not give me an expedition, but he is responsible for this one, which is pretty sweet.
He did give us an expedition.
Yeah. So,
Fountain.
So you can, of course, look at the top to see who won the value counter. I don't think it's much of a contest, but there it is anyway. And we're actually going to do something with the value counter this time, because last time we didn't. So if you tune in next week for the next week's video, Atkst, I'm just assuming you're winning. I haven't done the math yet, but I don't think I really need to. He'll be going first in the next video because he won the value counter.
If Hallowed Fountain drops in the time it takes me to look up prices, I won't be going first. But
yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. And the next video is going to be related to this unboxing specifically. So
look forward to that.
All right, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Signs off, Mr. Boopster. Very good.
Excellent form.
10 out of 10.